I never thought one quiet evening could break me the way that night did completely. I drove to Emma's apartment early, hoping to surprise her with dinner and flowers tonight. When I reached her door, I heard voices inside, low whispers that froze me instantly. I leaned closer without thinking, telling myself I misunderstood, even while my hands shook wildly. Then I heard Liam's voice say something soft, something that made my stomach twist painfully. Emma laughed with him, a sound that once comforted me but now sliced deeply inside. I wanted to walk away, but my feet stayed planted, listening to every word spoken. Liam said he felt lucky she finally chose him, and my entire body turned cold. Emma whispered that she chose the better man, words that shattered something deep within me. I stepped back carefully, terrified they might hear me and drag me into their betrayal. My heart pounded so loudly that I thought the whole hallway echoed with its breaking. I wanted to scream at them, but my voice disappeared, swallowed completely by shock tonight. I turned around slowly and walked away, feeling like my legs belonged to somebody else. When I reached the stairs, I stopped hard, gripping the rail while my breath shook. I kept whispering to myself that it wasn't real, but the truth burned painfully clear. My chest felt tight, like every promise we made together was tearing apart inside me. I walked outside and let the cold air hit me, hoping it would numb something. I reached my car, opened the door, and sat down with my hands still shaking. I stayed at the steering wheel, trying to understand how love turned into something painful. I whispered my name, Ethan Miller, like I needed to remind myself who I was. I felt stupid for trusting them, stupid for believing love could survive lies spoken easily. I hit the steering wheel once, not out of anger but because silence felt unbearable. I kept hearing Emma's voice in my head saying Liam was the better man now. I couldn't understand how she moved on so fast while I was falling apart inside. I remembered her promises, her smiles, and the quiet lies she hid behind them before. I kept asking myself if I wasn't enough, or if she simply wanted something new. I felt my throat tighten as I remembered Liam pretending to be my friend yesterday. I trusted him with secrets I never told anyone, and he twisted them against me. I gripped the steering wheel again, trying not to break down as truth crushed me. I whispered that I needed to leave, because staying there made everything hurt even more. I turned the key but didn't start the engine. My shaking would make me crash. I leaned back against the seat, staring at darkness outside like it understood my pain. I thought about calling someone, but shame kept my phone heavy and silent in hand. I imagined Emma laughing with Liam while I sat alone, wondering how everything changed instantly. I whispered, "Why me?" even though I knew betrayal doesn't care who it destroys first. I felt like someone pulled the floor away, leaving emptiness where my love belonged once. I rubbed my face with hands, trying to erase images I never wanted to see. I kept hearing Emma say Liam's name softly, an echo cut deeper inside my ribs. I felt stupid sitting there, but moving even 1 inch felt impossible with everything collapsing. I wanted to hate Emma completely, but part of me still begged for some explanation. I questioned every moment we shared, wondering which ones were real and which were lies. I kept gripping the wheel tightly, afraid that letting go would make me fall apart. I didn't even notice tears falling until they hit my hands and made them colder. I wiped them away angrily, telling myself crying over betrayal only gave them more power. I wanted to pretend none of it happened, but reality kept striking me like waves. I wondered if Liam planned this for months, waiting for the moment to hurt me. I imagined confronting him, but the thought of hearing his excuses made me feel sick. I imagined confronting Emma too, asking her why I wasn't enough to stay loyal ever. I sat there shaking, whispering to myself that I needed strength to face tomorrow morning. I closed my eyes, trying to block memories of her smile touching my face gently. I kept seeing her hand in mine, wondering when that touch stopped mattering to her. I thought about walking back inside, but I knew hearing them again would destroy me. I forced myself to breathe, reminding myself I still deserved truth even if it hurt. I wondered how many lies they told, and how many times I ignored obvious signs. I grabbed the steering wheel again, whispering that I would never forgive either of them. I felt something inside me harden, like betrayal burned away the softness I once carried. I whispered that tomorrow would be different, even though I had no idea how yet. I promised myself I would stand even if pain destroyed what I believed about love. I turned my head toward the window, watching lights blur through tears I couldn't stop. I finally started the engine and whispered that nothing would ever be the same again. I woke up the next morning feeling like someone had put a weight on my chest. I dragged myself into work, hoping silence would hide the disaster inside me. But the moment I stepped into the office, Olivia looked up from her desk and frowned. "Ethan, you okay?" she asked softly. "I'm fine," I muttered, pushing past her even though my voice cracked slightly. "You don't look fine," she said, standing to follow me. "Did something happen?" "Olivia, not right now," I replied, dropping into my chair. "Please." She stared at me for a moment before whispering, "If you want to talk, I'm here." I nodded but didn't promise anything. I didn't trust myself to speak without falling apart. I opened my computer, but the screen blurred as memories clawed their way back into my mind. Emma saying, "I picked the better man." Liam whispering her name like she belonged to him. I clenched my jaw and forced myself to breathe. I whispered to myself, how did I miss all of it? The signs had been there. I knew they had. I just didn't want to believe them. I remembered the first moment 2 weeks ago when Emma canceled dinner. She had smiled and said, "I'm just tired tonight, babe. Rain check." I had said, "Of course," without thinking twice. If I had listened closer, I would have noticed the way her voice tightened, like she was hiding something underneath. Then there was Liam. He started showing up with questions that felt too personal. He once asked, "You sure Emma's doing okay? She seems distracted." I laughed it off, saying, "She's fine. Just stressed." He smiled crookedly and said, "If you say so." Now that smile haunts me. My thoughts were interrupted when Olivia walked back to my desk holding a cup of coffee. "Drink this," she said. "You look like you didn't sleep." "I didn't," I admitted. She sat on the edge of my desk. "Ethan, what's going on?" I shook my head. "I don't even know where to start." "Start anywhere," she said gently. "Just don't hold it in or you'll explode." I sighed. Emma. She wasn't who I thought she was. Olivia stayed quiet, waiting. "I heard her last night," I whispered. "I heard her with someone." Her eyes widened. "Oh God. Ethan, who?" "Liam." Her hand flew to her mouth. "Liam Hayes. Seriously?" I nodded. I walked away before they saw me. Olivia whispered, "I'm so sorry. That's brutal." I laughed bitterly. "Brutal is too soft." She leaned closer. "Do you want to talk about it?" I shook my head. "If I talk, I'll break." "You're already breaking," she said quietly. That almost made me lose control, so I stood up quickly. "I need air." She followed me toward the hallway. "You're blaming yourself, aren't you?" "Shouldn't I?" I snapped. "How do you miss something that big?" "You trusted her," Olivia said. "That's not a mistake." "It feels like one." I walked to the break room and leaned against the counter. Olivia stood across from me. I whispered. She kept saying she was tired, busy, stressed, but every excuse was covering something. "Ethan." "And Liam," I continued, ignoring her. "He kept pretending he cared about my relationship. He asked questions like he wanted to help, but he was digging for weaknesses." Olivia's voice hardened. "Is scum for that." I laughed humorlessly. "I never thought he'd be the one to stab me." "People like him smile in your face while planting the knife," she said. I stayed at the floor. I hated how blind I was. "You weren't blind," she said. "You were in love." I swallowed hard. I didn't want to hear that because it hurt too much. "Olivia," I whispered, "what's wrong with me?" "Nothing's wrong with you." "Then why wasn't I enough?" She stepped closer. "She didn't leave because you weren't enough. She left because she wasn't enough for you." I felt something twist in my chest. I wish I believed that. "You should." "I should have seen it coming," I murmured. Her distance. Her excuses. The sudden interest Liam had in my life. All the signs were there. Olivia sighed. "Love makes you see what you want to see." I shook my head. "I feel stupid." "You're not." "Then why does everything point to me being the idiot in the story?" "You're the one who got betrayed," she said firmly. "Not the betrayer." There's a difference. Her voice calmed me, but my chest still felt tight. Do you want to go home? She asked. No, I whispered. Home feels worse. Then stay near people, she suggested. Don't isolate yourself. I sighed again. I feel empty. I get that, she said. But emptiness doesn't last forever. I looked at her. It feels like it will. It won't, she insisted. I wanted to believe her, but belief felt like something someone had stolen from me. Minutes passed before she spoke again. Ethan, you're stronger than you think. I don't feel strong, I admitted. That's usually when strength shows up, she said. I whispered. I keep seeing them together in my head. That's trauma talking. I hate it, I said. I know. I rubbed my face. I should have known. I should have seen the signs. Olivia shook her head. Stop blaming yourself. You saw love, not lies. I didn't answer. I just stared out the window, wishing I could erase the last 24 hours of my life. But denial didn't change reality. The betrayal wasn't sudden. It wasn't surprising. It was a slow, quiet disaster I never wanted to see. I whispered, I should have seen it. And for the first time, I finally meant it. I was sitting on my couch staring at the wall when someone knocked. I already knew who it was. Her knocks were always soft, like she wanted to be innocent even when she wasn't. Ethan, it's me, Emma said from the other side. I closed my eyes. What do you want? Please open the door. Against my better judgment, I unlocked it. She stepped in slowly, acting like she had permission to stand in my home. Ethan, she whispered, we need to talk. No, I said. You need to talk. I already know everything. She flinched. I didn't mean for you to find out like that. How are you planning to tell me? I asked. Before or after the wedding invitations went out. Don't be like that, she whispered. I laughed bitterly. Then how should I be, Emma? She stepped closer. You don't understand. You cheated on me with someone I trusted. What part am I not understanding? She swallowed hard. Ethan, I never wanted to hurt you. Then why did you? She took a breath. Because you, too safe. I stared at her. Too safe. You're predictable, she whispered. You think too much. You play everything carefully. And Liam, he makes me feel alive. I felt something in my chest tighten painfully. So this is about excitement. It's not just that, she said. You're good. You're stable. But Liam is a liar. I finished. Just like you. She shook her head. He understands parts of me that you don't. That's because you never gave me the chance, I said. You shut me out. No, she whispered. You just weren't enough. Those words burned more than anything else, she said. I stepped back. Get out. Her eyes widened. Ethan, wait. No, I said firmly. You made your choice. Go. She reached out. Please don't end it like this. You ended it, I said. When you picked him. She shook her head, voice trembling. I still care about you. I laughed because the alternative was breaking down. You care about losing your backup plan. That's not fair. It's the truth, I cut in. You came here to ease your guilt, not to fix anything. She stayed at the floor. Maybe you're right. I know I'm right, I said. Now leave. She opened her mouth again, but I pointed at the door. Go, Emma. For a moment, she didn't move. Then she whispered, I'm sorry, Ethan. I didn't reply. I didn't trust myself to speak. She walked out slowly, closing the door behind her. The click sounded like an ending I never asked for. I stood there with my hands shaking until someone knocked again. Faster, sharper. Ethan. Olivia's voice said, Are you okay? I opened the door. You followed her. She walked past me crying, Olivia said. I put two and two together. Can I come in? I nodded. She stepped in and scanned my face. What did she say? That I'm too safe. Too predictable. Not enough. Olivia muttered. She's unbelievable. I told her to leave, I said. Good. I don't feel good. You won't, she said softly. Not yet. I sat on the couch, and she sat beside me. You made the right choice, she said. It doesn't feel like it. It will, she promised. I leaned forward, elbows on my knees. Why wasn't I enough? Stop asking that, she said sharply. You were more than enough. She just wanted chaos. I whispered, I loved her. And she didn't deserve it. Those words hit deeply. I didn't answer right away. Olivia placed a hand on my arm. You're allowed to hurt. You're allowed to feel everything. Just don't let this destroy you. I took a shaky breath. I don't know what to do next. You'll figure it out, she said, step by step. Before I could reply, my phone rang. I looked at the caller ID. Daniel. I picked up. Hey. His voice was loud. Ethan, what the hell happened? Emma called Mom crying. I sighed. Of course she did. What did she do? He asked. She cheated, I said. With Liam. There was silence. Then Daniel growled. That jerk? I knew something was off about him. I didn't, I admitted. He played you, Daniel said. Both of them did. I know. Do you want me to come over? I hesitated. Not right now. No, I'm coming, he said. You shouldn't be alone. Daniel. It's not up for debate, he said. You're my brother. I'm on my way. He hung up before I could argue. Olivia smiled slightly. He sounds intense. That's Daniel, I said. Always ready to fight someone. Maybe that's what you need right now, she said. I don't know what I need. She looked at me for a long moment. You need to choose. Choose what? Whether this breaks you, she said softly, or pushes you forward. I closed my eyes. Forward feels impossible. But it isn't, she said. It starts with one decision. What decision? She squeezed my hand. To not let them win. Her words echoed through me. Then Daniel knocked loudly on my door. Open up, Ethan. I stewed, walked to the door, and opened it. Daniel grabbed my shoulders immediately. Look at me, he said. You're not losing to them. Not now. Not ever. I swallowed. Daniel. Say it, he demanded. I looked at him, then at Olivia, then back at him. And for the first time since the betrayal, I said the words out loud. I'm not letting them win. I woke up the next morning feeling like someone had scraped out whatever was left inside me, but I still forced myself to sit up. You're not staying like this, I whispered to my reflection as I pulled on a shirt. My face looked tired, hollow, but there was something harder in my eyes, something new. At work, I tried to focus, but the buzz of conversations kept pulling me out of my own head. Olivia walked over and tapped my desk lightly. You okay today? She asked, her voice low. I'm managing, I said. You look like you're carrying a boulder on your back. Feels heavier than that. She nodded. If you ever need someone to talk to, I'm right there. I know, I muttered. I just need to figure things out. She didn't push. That alone made her the calmest part of my day. Around lunch, I stepped outside for air. That's when I heard Emma's voice behind me. Ethan, wait. I didn't turn, but she came around and blocked my path. I just wanted to talk, she said. I don't want to talk to you, I replied. She exhaled sharply. You're really going to act like I didn't mean anything to you. You made that choice, I said. Not me. Before she could respond, Liam walked out of the building with that smug grin he always wore when he thought he'd won something. Come on, Emma, he said. You don't owe him an explanation. I looked at both of them. Trust me, I said. She really doesn't. Liam stepped closer, still bitter. No, I said. Just done. Emma's expression tightened, like she was counting on me breaking down. But I walked away without looking back, and that silence I gave them felt louder than anything I could have said. When I got home later that evening, Daniel was already waiting inside, feet on my coffee table. You look awful, he said. Nice to see you too, I muttered. He leaned forward. Grace wants to talk to you. I don't need another lecture. He snorted. Trust me, she's worse than me. Great. A few minutes later, Grace arrived with her usual direct energy. Sit, she said the moment she walked in. It's my apartment, I said. Sit anyway. I dropped onto the couch. Grace crossed her arms. You're letting them walk around like they've won. I'm not fighting them. That's the problem. You're acting like someone who lost something instead of someone who dodged a bullet. I rubbed my forehead. Grace. No, she said. Listen, You don't have to prove anything to them. Prove something to yourself. Start rebuilding you, not your relationship. Daniel nodded. She's right. I sighed. I know. Grace softened a little. Good. Then start doing the things you stopped doing when you were trying so hard to keep Emma happy. That hit harder than I wanted it to. Because she was right. I had stopped being myself just to keep something alive that was already dying. The next few days, I worked with a new focus. I stayed late, organized tasks, and ignored Liam's loud confidence echoing around the office. Olivia noticed. You're different this week, she said. I'm trying to be, I replied. That's good. You deserve better than whatever they're pretending to be. Her words steadied something in my chest. That Friday, I went for coffee near work. As I waited in line, I heard the last two voices I wanted to hear. Emma, he looks so desperate. Liam, he'll get over it. Guys like him always do. I turned around slowly. You know I can hear you. Right. Emma looked startled. Liam looked annoyed. You weren't supposed to, Emma said. Then whisper better, I said. Liam scoffed. Look, man, we're not trying to make you miserable. You don't have to try, I said. You do it naturally. Emma stepped forward. Ethan, you don't have to be rude. I'm not being rude, I said. I'm being done. I walked out before either of them could say anything else. My hands were shaking, but for the first time, it wasn't from heartbreak. It was from holding my ground. Later that night, Daniel called. Heard you ran into them today. Yeah, and you didn't break anything. Just their ego. Daniel laughed loudly. That's my brother. And Grace. I asked, what's her verdict? You're finally waking up, he said. I leaned back on my couch. Feels like it. Over the next 2 weeks, I noticed something strange happening. Liam started slipping up at work. Missing details. Showing up late. Snapping at people. Acting like he didn't need to try. Olivia whispered to me one afternoon. His project's a mess. I raised an eyebrow. Really? She nodded. Everyone's talking about it. I didn't smile, but something warmed inside me. Not joy, not revenge, but justice. Karma didn't need my help. It was working on its own. One night, I was packing up when a coworker walked by and said, Hey, Ethan, you hear about Liam's project? No, I said. What happened? It's crashing. Like, badly. The higher-ups are furious. A sharp rush of energy went through me, cold and electric. I sat back down, gripping the edge of my desk. For the first time since everything fell apart, I felt the storm turning. I walked into the office the next morning and heard whispers before I even reached my desk. Someone muttered, Liam's project tanked, and another replied, Yeah, and Emma looked pissed. I tried to ignore it, but the tension in the air felt sharp. I sat down, opened my laptop, and pretended to focus until Olivia stopped beside me. Ethan, she said softly. You heard, right? No, I lied. What happened? She gave me a look like she didn't believe me for a second. His project numbers crashed. The team found errors, big errors. I swallowed hard. He handled the whole thing alone. He wanted to prove he was better. And he rushed it, she said. Truth shows up eventually. I rubbed my forehead. I'm not celebrating this. I know, she replied. But it's still happening. Before I could respond, Liam stormed past us, his jaw clenched. Emma followed a few minutes later, trying to look calm but failing miserably. She glanced at me, but I looked away. I didn't owe her anything. Around noon, I went to get coffee, and someone called my name. When I turned, Mark Rivers stood there, sharp suit, quiet authority, the type of man who spoke rarely but meant every word. Ethan, he said, walk with me. I followed him down the hall. Is something wrong? No, he said. Something's actually right. I've watched your work. You're steady and thoughtful. I need someone like that. I blinked. You need me? Yes, he said. I have a big presentation next week for the board. I want you on it. Why me? I asked. He gave a small half-smile. Because I'm tired of people who brag louder than they work. I knew exactly what he meant. I'll do it, I said. Good, he replied. Start today. I'll send everything to you. When he walked away, I let out a slow breath. It felt unreal. For the first time in weeks, something was going right. But the moment didn't stay quiet for long. Liam appeared out of nowhere and grabbed my arm. "What the hell was that?" he hissed. I pulled away. "Let go. You think you can walk in here and act like you're better than me?" he snapped. "I didn't say anything," I replied. "You said enough," he shot back. "Mark picking you. Out of everyone. That's not normal." I stared at him. "Maybe you should focus on your own work instead of mine." His eyes twitched. "Emma said you try something like this." Hearing her name made something inside me tighten. "I didn't try anything," I said. "I'm just doing my job." "Yeah, right," he muttered. "You're trying to make me look bad." "I don't have to," I replied quietly. "You're doing that yourself." His face went red, but he didn't answer. He just stormed off. When I got back to my desk, Olivia leaned over. "He's panicking," she whispered. I noticed. "You okay?" she asked. "Honestly, I don't know," I said. "Take the win," she said. "You deserve it." I wanted to believe her, but something in me still felt heavy. I spent the next few hours reviewing Mark's notes, working through slides, and planning how to rebuild the messy data he'd been given. For once, the work felt good. Clear, like I was stepping onto solid ground again. Later that afternoon, I got a text. "Emma, we need to talk. Please." I stayed at the screen, then turned off my phone. I didn't owe her comfort or conversation. She had made her choice. A knock hit my desk. "Ethan," Olivia asked. "Did something happen?" "Emma," I said. "She wants to talk." "Are you going to?" "No." "Good," she said. "She lost the right." I sighed. "Why does it still hurt then?" "Because you cared," she said. "But caring doesn't make you weak." Her words stayed with me. I didn't say anything, but a small part of me felt lighter. Around 5, Mark called me into his office. When I stepped inside, he nodded toward the chair. "I want you to know something," he said. "This presentation is important. I wouldn't trust it with someone who wasn't capable." I nodded. "I won't let you down." "I know," he said. "One more thing. Liam is being called into a meeting with upper management. It's not good." My chest tightened. "Because of the project?" "Yes," Mark said. "And other things." I didn't ask what other things meant. I didn't need to. When I walked back out, I saw Liam heading toward the conference room. His face was pale, his steps uneven. Emma wasn't beside him this time. He looked around the office like someone searching for support, but no one met his eyes. For the first time, the man who thought he owned the room looked small. Mark passed me again and gave a short nod. Silent, steady, respectful. A nod that said I wasn't invisible anymore. I sat at my desk, breathed in slowly, and whispered to myself, the shift has finally started. And for the first time since that night outside Emma's apartment, I believed it. I stood outside the conference room, my hands sweating even though I tried to calm them. Mark appeared beside me. "Ethan, it's all yours," he said quietly. "Liam's performance has been lacking. Lead it tonight." I hesitated. "Are you sure? I've never presented to this many people alone." Mark's eyes were steady. "I trust you. Go show them what you're capable of." I nodded and took a deep breath. The room was packed. Executives, colleagues, even some higher-ups I didn't recognize. Liam was there too, staring at me like I had betrayed him personally. I forced my jaw to stay firm and walked to the front. "Good evening," I began. My voice shook for a second, but I caught it. "Tonight, I'll walk you through the progress on our latest project and the adjustments we've made for success." I clicked the first slide. Liam scowled. Emma sat near the back, watching silently. I could feel the tension in the room, the weight of all eyes on me. For a moment, I wanted to turn and run. Then I reminded myself why I was here, not to please anyone but myself. "First, we analyzed the workflow gaps," I continued. "We identified the bottlenecks and implemented solutions that increased efficiency by 15%. I gestured toward the charts. "This isn't just numbers. It's a reflection of teamwork and accountability." A few heads nodded. I felt a spark of confidence. Olivia had been right. I was capable. Liam's smirk faltered. I could see him calculating, realizing the spotlight was no longer his. I moved through the slides, explaining each adjustment, each improvement. People asked questions. I answered clearly, directly, without hesitation. Each time I looked at the audience, I saw recognition in their faces. They were listening. I was being seen. Halfway through, Mark leaned toward me from the side of the room. Excellent. Keep going. His subtle nod gave me more strength than any pep talk I'd ever received. When I finished the last slide, the room was silent for a heartbeat. Then applause started, growing louder until it filled the space. I exhaled. I had done it. I had led. I had survived. As people started filing out, Mark approached me again. "Ethan," he said, lowering his voice. "I want you to know this. There's a promotion coming. I want you leading more projects. You've earned it." I blinked. "Really?" "Yes," he said, firm. "You're ready." I felt a rush of energy, a quiet triumph I hadn't felt since everything fell apart with Emma. But my moment didn't go unnoticed. Liam's face turned pale. His jaw tightened. He started muttering under his breath, glancing at the executives who were now giving me approving looks. Emma leaned toward him. "Ethan did really well," she said softly. I caught her voice, calm but tinged with disbelief. He looked at me, disbelief and fury warring in his eyes. This isn't fair," he muttered. I ignored him. I had no need to fight. The room had already spoken. A moment later, Emma stepped closer. "Ethan, wait. Can we talk?" Her voice was hesitant, almost vulnerable. I shook my head. "No, Emma. I don't think we need to talk." "But I..." "Don't," I interrupted. "You made your choice. You're seeing it now. I don't need reminders of what I lost. Or what you lost." She flinched, but there was no argument. Silence hung between us like a fragile wall. Then a soft, calm voice interrupted. "Ethan, a word." Harper Lewis, the HR manager, stepped beside me. She was older, composed, and observant. The type of person who saw everything without needing to speak. "I've noticed all of this," she said quietly. "Liam's performance, his attitude, it won't go unnoticed. Things have consequences." I nodded. "I understand." She smiled faintly. "Good. Keep doing what you're doing." Liam muttered something under his breath about luck and favoritism. Harper's eyes flicked toward him for a second, steady and quiet, then back to me. I didn't need to say anything. Her look said it all. The man who thought he could manipulate his way through life would eventually face the truth. I walked toward the exit with Harper at my side. Liam watched me leave, his shoulders tense. He glanced at Emma for reassurance, but she didn't give it. Instead, she stood still, her expression unreadable, and I realized she finally understood what she had lost. Not just me, but the man I had become despite her betrayal. Outside, I inhaled the cool night air. It smelled like possibility, like a storm passing and leaving clarity behind. Harper's presence beside me was quiet support. No lectures, no advice I didn't ask for, just a calm acknowledgement that the world noticed truth, eventually. I felt the subtle shift that had been building over the past weeks. The power I thought was gone was slowly returning. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was reclaiming myself. Liam's mistakes, Emma's choices, all of it had led to this moment. The room had seen me. Mark had seen me. Harper had seen me. And most importantly, I had seen myself. As I stepped into the elevator, I glanced back at the building. Liam was still at the doorway, looking small, frustrated, powerless. Emma stayed behind him, her arms crossed, her lips pressed in a line. Neither said a word. Neither could stop what was happening inside me. For the first time since that night my life collapsed, I felt in control. And I knew this was only the beginning. I arrived at work Monday morning, and the air felt different. Liam's desk was empty, his chair pushed in perfectly, and no one made eye contact with his office phone or computer. Whispers followed me down the hall. "Did you hear?" Someone muttered. "Liam's been suspended." I kept walking, pretending I hadn't. Olivia appeared beside me, her calm presence grounding me. "You heard, right?" she asked. "I did," I said, keeping my tone even. "Not that I'm celebrating." She gave a small smile. "Good. You stayed focused. That's what matters. By mid-morning, I saw Emma in the cafeteria, sitting alone. Her friends weren't there, and she looked small. She glanced up when she noticed me, but I kept walking. I didn't owe her an explanation or glance of pity. Later, Mark called me into his office. "Ethan," he said, leaning back, "the review went well. I've recommended you for the senior position. You'll be leading a new team by next month." I blinked. "Really? That's unexpected." "You've earned it," he said. "Consistently. Steady. Dependable. You didn't need to fight to be noticed." I swallowed hard, letting a slow smile creep across my face. "Thank you, Mark. I won't let you down." "You won't," he replied, nodding. "Go enjoy this moment. You've waited a long time for it." By evening, Daniel and Grace had invited me over. "This calls for celebration," Daniel said, clinking his glass against mine. "Don't get used to me drinking," I muttered. Grace laughed softly. "You deserve it, Ethan. You fought through it all without losing yourself. That's rare." I'm tired of feeling like everything is out of control," I admitted. "Now it feels like I finally own something again." "Good," Daniel said. "You earned it." Later, Olivia stopped by as I packed my things to leave. "You okay?" she asked, tilting her head. I nodded, but my chest tightened. "I think so. More than okay. Maybe. It's strange. Feeling lighter." "You've changed," she said. "You're stronger. And I like it." I hesitated, surprised by the sincerity in her voice. "I like you," I whispered before I could stop myself. Her eyes softened. "I like you too, Ethan. More than just a friend." I laughed quietly. "Then we'll see where this goes." The next morning, Liam appeared in the hallway, looking disheveled and desperate. He caught me alone by the elevators. "Ethan," he said, voice low, almost pleading. "You ruined me." I stopped, looking at him. "No," I said calmly. "You ruined yourself. You made your choices, and you ignored every warning. I didn't do this to you. Your actions did." He shook his head. "But everything's falling apart. Emma, the project, it's all because of you." I shook my head again. "I didn't take your luck, Liam. I didn't take your job. You did that to yourself." I just stood my ground. He opened his mouth but had nothing else to say. His face crumpled with the realization he had no control. Later, I ignored a text from Emma. "Ethan, please. I need closure. Can we talk one last time?" I read it, felt a pang, and then put my phone down. No reply. Closure wasn't mine to give. She had made her choice. Weeks passed, and the shift became permanent. Liam officially lost his job after the internal review. Word spread quickly. People whispered about his careless mistakes, his arrogance, and the fallout. No one wanted to be near him. Emma's life followed a similar trajectory. Her friends drifted away, and her family started questioning her decisions. She tried sending messages, calling, but I ignored them. Mark approached me one afternoon. "Ethan, your new team starts next week. I trust you'll lead them well." "I will," I said. "Thank you for believing in me. You didn't need me to believe in you. You proved it yourself." Daniel called that evening. "So, how's it feel to see them crumble while you rise?" I shrugged, smiling faintly. "Satisfying, I guess. But more than that, I feel free. I finally feel free." Grace leaned in with a grin. "You've grown into someone unshakable. Even they can't touch that now." I laughed quietly. "It's weird, isn't it? How the same people who hurt you the most end up showing you your strength." "Exactly," she said. "You're unstoppable now." Olivia met me outside the building later. "You look happy," she said. "I am," I admitted. "Happier than I've been in a long time. And I think I'm ready for what's next." She smiled, taking my hand briefly. "Then go get it, Ethan. You've earned it." As I walked away from the office, I noticed Liam standing near the doors, his shoulders slumped, face pale. Emma was beside him, silent, finally realizing that the life she tried to build wasn't perfect, and the man she chose had been a poor choice. Both of them faced the consequences of their own actions. I inhaled deeply, the night air sharp and clean. My chest felt lighter than ever before. For the first time since that night outside her apartment, I was truly in control of my life, my choices, and my future. And this time, nothing, not Liam, not Emma, not anyone, could take that away. I sat at my desk, staring at the promotion letter Mark had sent. The title, the responsibilities, it felt real now. I had worked for this moment without even realizing it. For the first time in weeks, I smiled without hesitation. Olivia appeared beside me, leaning on the doorframe. "Looks like someone finally got what they deserved," she said softly. "I guess so," I said, letting the tension ease from my shoulders. "But it's more than that. It feels like a new beginning." She nodded. "You've earned it, Ethan. You fought through everything. Heartbreak, betrayal, frustration, and here you are." I laughed quietly. I never thought I'd get here when it all started. I thought losing Emma meant the end of my world. "Endings aren't always what they seem," she said. "Sometimes they're just the start of something better." I looked at her, really looked, for the first time in weeks. "You've been there through all of it, even when I was a mess, even when I shut everyone out." "That's what friends do," she replied. Her smile was gentle, sincere. "And maybe more than friends," she added quietly, eyes flicking away for a moment. I felt a warmth spread in my chest. "Maybe more than friends," I repeated, softly, almost to myself. The office buzzed around us, but I felt grounded. I had survived nights I thought I wouldn't, days I felt empty and hollow. And now, I was stepping into something that wasn't about revenge or proving anyone wrong. It was about me. Mark appeared then, leaning against the doorway. "Ready for your first day in the new role?" he asked, a faint smile tugging at his lips. "I am," I said, nodding. "Thank you for believing in me." "You didn't need my belief," he said. "You proved it yourself." I laughed softly. "I guess I did." Later, Daniel called. "So, big man, how does it feel to be on top?" "Not on top," I said. "Just steady, in control, and free." "Good answer," he said. "I'm proud of you." Grace joined the call. "We all are," she added. "You've transformed through every obstacle, Ethan. That's rare." "I wouldn't have made it without you all," I admitted. "Even Olivia. Even Mark." When I hung up, Olivia was waiting for me outside the building. "Walk with me?" she asked. I nodded, and we stepped into the night together. The city lights shimmered around us, reflecting off wet asphalt from an earlier rain. The air smelled like renewal, like opportunity. "I still can't believe how far you've come," she said softly. "After everything, you unshakable." "I've had to be," I replied. "After Emma, after Liam, after nights I felt like giving up." I realized something important. Losing them wasn't the end. It was the beginning. Olivia glanced at me. "Do you regret any of it?" "No," I said firmly. "Not a single moment. Every betrayal, every heartbreak, every sleepless night. They built me. They made me who I am now." She smiled, walking closer. "I'm glad you're seeing it, because I've always known you'd come out stronger." I felt the weight of the past weeks lift as I inhaled deeply. Stronger, yeah. I finally understand what that means. We paused at the corner of the street. The traffic hummed past, people going about their lives. Liam's face, Emma's words, the chaos, they felt distant now. I didn't need to watch them struggle. Their lives, their regrets, were theirs. I had no place there anymore, ready to face this new chapter. Olivia asked. "I am," I said, smiling at her. "More than ready." We walked in silence for a moment, side by side, letting the night settle around us. Peace didn't feel empty. It felt earned, deliberate, like breathing deeply after holding it in too long. "I've realized something else," I said quietly, almost to myself. "My victory isn't about revenge. It's not about making them suffer. It's about finding my peace, my strength." Olivia's hand brushed mine gently. "And you have both," she said. I nodded. "They broke me, but I rebuilt myself stronger than ever." The words felt true in every sense. The nights I spent in despair, the anger I carried, the humiliation and heartbreak, they were all stepping stones. Every painful moment had led me here, to this clarity. I never thought I'd feel this whole again, I admitted. You do now, Olivia said softly. I looked out over the city skyline, lights flickering like stars brought to earth. The world felt vast and full of possibilities. I felt steady. I felt in control. I felt alive. Liam and Emma would fade from my life, their mistakes and choices their own. I had no desire to linger, no need to relive the past. The story I had lived was mine, and I had rewritten the ending. I glanced at Olivia and smiled. I'm ready to move forward. Together, if you want. She smiled back. Always. The wind brushed against my face as we walked farther into the night. My chest felt open, my mind clear. Every betrayal, every lie, every sleepless night had shaped me. But it hadn't destroyed me. They broke me. But I rebuilt myself stronger than ever. And this time, I knew I would never forget it.